Hey, welcome back to the Car Sharker. My name is Jimmy Prater, car close. That's what I do. I close and close and close. I close car deals. I close it because I follow a strict process, both in the sales process and the closing process. See, there's a difference. If you don't have a really good, solid sales process, you can't transition that to a close. All salespeople are closers because at the end of your sales process, you have to ask for the sale, right? You got to ask them. If the figures are absolutely agreeable, you want to only take delivery today. You just ask for the sale. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about just stop thinking about it and just do it. It's really to the point where there's so much coming at you with several different training solutions out there that you start thinking, well, maybe I'm doing this wrong, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Start thinking what you're doing right. It will come natural. Say what's on your mind to the customer. It will come natural. Now you have these steps that you follow. But in between the steps, you have to talk. You have to communicate. And whatever means of communication you do with the customer, whether it's in person, digital, sign language, whatever means that you do, just say what's on your mind. You got to say what's on your mind. That's what makes a great closer. The closer just says it. They just say it. Hey, no problem. Just say it. This is what's going on, and you got to follow a process. See, that my 7 rules of engagement, the Car Sharker 7 rules of engagement that I train on, we train and train and train on, so it's muscle memory. Now, that's the same thing with the 7 rules of engagement of a close. The closer of the figures, because you have 2 closes in the sale, right? You got a closing of the product and closing of the figures. That's 7 rules of engagement of a close. We train and train and train. So you don't think about it anymore. So stop thinking. Have it all muscle memory. Say the same thing to the customer, just like an assembly line. Okay, this is what you said to this customer who bought a brand new truck. Now someone's going to buy a brand new economical used vehicle. Say the same thing. Just say the same thing. Do the same thing. Act the same way. Follow the same process. Step by step by step by step by step. That's your sales process. And then your closing process is step by step by step by step by step. Same thing on the closing process. Now managers that are behind the desking away, you got to know your rules of engagement too. So you've got to do the same thing. So when you are desking to deal with your salespeople, you're consistent because consistency sells cars, right? You got to close. You close with consistency. It's just that you know what you're going to say after this customer says something to you. You know what your rebuttal is going to be. You've heard it 1,000,000 times. You're going to hear it 1,000,001. You're going to say, okay, say the same thing. You're like a robot. That's what you are. A robot with a personality. Boy, that'd be a good movie, wouldn't it? Robot personality. Rated R coming at you. Oh my gosh, this robot's got some craziness to him. But you have to train and train and train on the same process all the time. You have to train what you're going to say all the time. You know, the best way of training yourself for self-motivation, if you get some idle time, you get some downtime, say, just get a piece of paper out and start writing down what your processes are. You know, because when that customer comes in, it's showtime, right? It's time to go. It's time. You got to go out there. It's time. When you're closing on the figures, you have to understand something. How did you do that? What did you say? What story did you say? Did you say the same story, the same emotional story? Did you get emotionally attached to the customer or the customer get emotionally attached to you? See, if you get, as a closer of the figure, get too emotionally attached to a customer, you know what happens? You're not going to close the deal. The salesperson who closes the car deal gets emotionally attached to the customer because they get passionate over what the customer's needs and wants are. So that's their job. Their job is to smooth because they're going to close the product. Once they close the product, the numbers are going to be easy to line up. That's why it's so important to have a closing process. It's not that important to have a manager who sits behind a desk, desking the deal, and still going out and closing because that manager is going to give away the farm. See, that manager is an auditor. That manager is just paying attention to the numbers, making sure the dealer is not losing any money or making sure that they're making money. But if you don't have a middle person to actually go out and close the deal who's an expert in the figures, and they need to wear some type of expert badge, and the car sharker has them, they need to be an expert in the figures because subliminally, the customer needs to know they're buying from an expert. That the individual who's talking to them about number is an expert on the number, just like the individual is a specialist. Specialist means you're expert in the product. You're an expert on the product. Bam. You're done. You're in. You're in. That's what you have to be. You got to be. It's just like I say, it's got to be an explosion. An explosion. It's a bomb. Explosion. Explosion of the product, explosion of the figures, and everyone's an expert at it. But stop thinking about it. Just do it. Just do it. If you got something on this video, go ahead and like it and share it. And if you'd like to see some more videos, I got some more at the channel. Go ahead and subscribe because every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. As long as you hit that little bell button. Don't be mad at me if I upload 5 or 6 in one day or something like that, okay? I mean, beep, 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 beep. Some people get a little crazy about that. I don't know why, but, it's kind of weird. Hey, do yourself a favor. My name is Jimmy Prater. Go close something. Yeah!